Welcome to the Michael and Gabby Show, starring your hosts, Michael and
Gabby.
And guys, we have a special treat for you today because we have celebrated our 1 year anniversary.
We made it!
Yes.
How many days is it, babe?
So guys, in the last video, I was able to count down where now it's like, I think 1 year, 1 month, and wait, oh my gosh, today's the 24th, 23rd?
24th.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's been 1 year, 1 month, and two days.
And how many hours?
I think we got married at like...
Well guys, today we wanted to do a video and to share with you guys what we learned from 1 year of married life.
1 year, guys.
Yeah, it feels like longer than 1 year.
It was quite eventful.
Yeah.
Our first year was quite eventful, guys.
But we're going to be sharing with you guys 3 things that we learned about each other within a year. And at the end, we both don't know what we're going to share, but at the end, we're going to share with you guys our biggest lesson learned from being married for a year.
Yes. Yes. So stay tuned. Keep your socks on. It's going to be an amazing time right now. So as usual, the gentleman will always go last because the lady has to go first. So
Okay.
Gabby
By
is
the way,
gonna,
guys, there's a lot that I've learned about Michael, so it was really hard.
So is this like a top 3 or like just any 3 that's like maybe funny or?
We're gonna do 3, but maybe at the end we'll do another bonus one. How about that?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, these
I like
videos
that.
are very spontaneous.
Because
Guys.
your boy got a list, y'all.
Okay, so if you guys have watched our vlogs, you should know the things that I'm about to say. Okay, so the first thing that I learned about Michael from being married for 1 year is that he likes to make music. But like guys, like not like actual songwriting. Like he likes to make rhythms and tunes and music. I want to compile like a whole video of him just making his songs. So I'll probably do that and share it here. But yeah, it's so funny. Did you now you actually had to share one. So I didn't tell you that, but now you're gonna have to say one, your favorite one.
Oh my gosh, I have to. Oh my gosh. This is guys. Like I'm being put on the spot here.
You can do the
You know? Uppy, uppy, uppy. I mean, that was a nice rhythm to it.
I got annoyed though at the end. We're in the airport. He kept singing that same thing. Do it again.
They could rewind.
No.
Uppy, uppy, uppy. Guys, I don't know the origin of the song.
And he literally keeps doing it, and it gets stuck in my head. And I'm like, okay, you gotta stop.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he makes a lot of songs.
Wow, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. All right,
Your
y'all.
turn.
All right, guys. I gotta consult the list.
Yeah, he made a whole list.
So I got some things in here. You know, let's see.
You're trying to pick. He's probably trying to pick the most embarrassing one of me.
All right, we're gonna start with some funny stuff, guys. To all you males out there that are married, I want to know, when do you guys openly fart in the presence of your beloved? The reason why I say that
Oh my god.
is because Gabby, to this day, doesn't like it when I fart. She just doesn't like it because, I mean, granted.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you learned that I farted that one time. You should share that story.
Oh, yeah, guys, like, I've only heard Gabby... Well, I didn't even hear it. I have yet to hear her fart. I only smelled it, and I only smelled it once this entire year
But guys,
of marriage.
It was because I eat raw. I mean,
She had like a really old apple.
Coleslaw.
Oh, it was coleslaw.
Yeah,
Forgive me.
I went with my friend.
Yeah.
I ate bad food, but yeah.
Yeah,
Keep going,
bad
sorry.
coleslaw, and then like, but guys, I was so ecstatic
In the middle of
when
prayer?
I was like, well, what kind of? Yeah, I was like,
We're in the
what
middle of prayer.
is this? I rebuke you, Satan, because it was foul, y'all. It stunk, but I was so like happy inside because I was like, wow.
He was happy. He was trying to smell it. I was like,
to
stop.
smell my baby's fart. But guys, she doesn't like it when like I fart, and it's healthy. I mean, guys, you can Google, like, it is healthy to let it rip. You don't want it to, you know,
Okay,
to stay
females
there and
here,
clog
whether
things.
your girlfriends or wives, come on, you don't like to smell fart. Please say,
You know what?
please agree with me.
You know what, ladies, on the comments, like, we want to know. The men want to know how many times y'all fart in a year. All right.
No.
I know that there's a statistic out there because I did not hear Gabby fart.
Not
once.
that, but I'm saying women like me most likely do not like their men farting. Like they don't want to hear or smell it.
But
It's not funny.
mine doesn't smell.
I don't know. I don't try to
Guys,
smell it, so.
Guys, Gabby's turn.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Another thing. Okay, actually, since we're talking about smell, one thing that I learned. Oh my gosh. One thing that I learned is that Michael sweats in his sleep and he stinks the bed up. And guys, can you believe this? The first time I smelt it, guess what he says? He points it back at me. He's like, it's probably you. And so I literally told him, smell my side of the bed and smell your side of the bed.
This was never an issue when I lived as a single
no,
man.
you just didn't smell it.
This was never an issue. I really don't understand why I sweat a lot. But I think it's because as a single man,
it's okay.
As a single man, like I wouldn't use the covers whatsoever. But
That's
now
true.
that I'm married, Gabby's like,
and I make him cuddle
you
me
know,
too.
she forces me, guys.
Force?
No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't force
Wow.
her. She makes me to cuddle with her, and I enjoy it,
Wow,
But in the process of the night, I tend to work out in my dreams, hence the sweat action.
No, guys, stop.
And I come out with ripped. No, I'm just kidding. That's not happened. But yeah, guys, if you guys have a solution for that, let me know. Now I'm gonna get you with another thing for Gabby that I learned. Okay, guys, like I don't know if she's expecting this, but I learned that Gabby takes really good care of her skin. Now I wanna go deeper into this. When I say she takes good care of her skin, I mean that after shower time, there is like a 20 to 25 minute ritual that is completed with a myriad of skin products.
Well, that includes me lotioning my body.
Oh, right, vitamin E. All right,
yeah,
that's true.
I don't put that much facial stuff. Not like the Korean 7-step facial. I don't do that.
Well, I learned that Gabby is very like diligent to the T. She never skips a beat in regards to these 20 to 25 minute rituals, and that's why she's got this pretty face. And that's why, you know, I was like, yo, I gotta put a ring on that, because if she didn't do that, I still put a ring on that. So yeah, I think that one. But just to add another one, guys, she really hates bugs and insects. And now,
but you knew that before marriage, though.
I didn't know it to this degree, guys. This is what happened right now. Like, we were just about to set up this camera, and she panicked a little bit, and she was like, oh my gosh, what's that? And then it's just a little like thing with dust and stuff like that. But guys, even the smallest thing, I remember one time it was in the bathroom or something, she's like, babe, can you go into the bathroom and kill the bug? And I'm like, what do you mean? There's something in there, I don't want to go. And I was like, okay, I'll go. Guys, it was like the tiniest, it wasn't even a bug, it was like a hair thing mixed with something else. So I learned that. I just want to add a bonus. We're gonna add another third one afterwards, but
oh my gosh,
this is something I learned.
A third one, another funny one that I wouldn't say it's funny, but maybe you guys will think it's funny. Ooh. But I'm curious to know too what you guys think about this. But one thing that I learned is Michael doesn't like Michael takes his time when he cooks, and I'm like the opposite. So for me, like when I cook, I try to like be as quick as I can, where Michael just takes his time. Like when you should be boiling water first, he doesn't. He does it when he needs to, which means like you have to wait 10 extra minutes, you know. So I noticed that whenever I try to come in and help to make things faster, it's a no bueno for him.
Guys, you know, I like to cook with love. I like to make things with love, and love takes its time to blossom.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's why I take time to cook.
So what kind of cook are you guys?
Yeah, we want to know.
Are you guys like me, where you just want to like hurry and, I mean, just time productivity?
Yeah,
too.
or do you just want to take your time, you know, and like when you cut it, caress the onion as you cut the onion finely, you know, because like that elevates the flavor to a new level of flavordom. All right, so it's amazing. But she's absolutely right though. Let's see. So.
If Michael doesn't say what I think he should say, I'm gonna propose one for him after this.
Oh man.
No, it's okay.
Find out. Well, one thing I found out for sure is that, guys, I never had this problem in our single period, but I always have to remind Gabby to put her seatbelt on.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, I never knew how much I would have to remind. Now, granted, like I drive the most. I think like when she drives, she puts her seatbelt on. I don't have to remind. But when I'm driving and she's a passenger, we can go for a long time. And thank God, thank you Ford Focus, for having a little beep, beep, beep that eventually when she prolongs the putting on of the seatbelt, it starts going like
his car gets crazy. Seriously.
But guys,
His car gets crazy.
This is good. We're protecting a life. She's got to go. There's a appointed time where she will be in heaven, and that time will not be earlier than that because no seatbelt. And so
that's a really good one.
Yes, that was a good one, but it wasn't the one that you wanted me to say.
And I think you know what I wanted you to say.
All right, I will say one thing to all you guys that have been married for many, many years.
See, he knows.
The guys have always said, "Hey, Michael, are you ready to understand that your wife will always be right?" And guys, I've learned now after this year of marriage that my wife, 99% of the time, 99.3% of the time.
I mean, we'll say 98. But that's
we'll say 98%. Yeah. 98. Give me a 2% bonus here, guys. Like, she's right. 98% of the time, she's right.
Yeah, and we hear this so many times from other couples that like the woman tends to be has more heightened discernment. So like, I'll give an example, but like, there's been a lot of times where, and Michael has a lot of genius ideas, but I just don't feel the Lord in it, you know. And I tell him that, and I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. Put it in the back burner. But whenever I do that, I mean, he's getting better at it, kind of, but he takes it really harshly. Like, Gabby just killed my dreams and my heart, and she hates me.
I'm telling you, I mean, if I was Martin Luther, I'd be like, I have a dream, and then suddenly cut down.
Literally, guys. Then 2 weeks later, Michael goes, yeah, so I feel the Lord doesn't want me to do that. He wants me to do this, and I'm just like, I said that 2 weeks ago, but okay. But a funny one that I didn't want to mention is with his logo. Guys, this is funny. This is the Heaven's Memento.
Hey.
No, I gotta mention this. I gotta say this.
All right, it's getting personal now. It's getting personal.
Well,
we're gonna edit out some things, guys, from this video. You ain't gonna see the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. You can tell. You can let them know.
Well, if you guys haven't followed Heaven's Memento,
that was pretty funny.
Follow it. That says Michael's new art venture.
Yeah, and business is coming.
But I have to say, he has a better eye with graphic design. It's true. He does. He makes logos. So if you guys need logos, contact Michael. But anyways, so he was working on his logo, and I didn't like it, you know, and I liked the concept, but I didn't like this white thing that he did in the middle of it. And so I was contemplating, honestly, in my head, like, how do I say this to him? So I remember the first time I tried was like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, outlining. I'm like, okay. And, you know, he continues and finishes it, and I was like, you know, it doesn't look like a cloud, by the way. From far away, it looks like a map. And he's like, whatever. Then in the car drive, I'm like, hey, so I just want to tell you, like, I just don't like it. Like, I think it looks kind of weird. And Michael was like, well, I'm the logo designer.
Yeah.
But then, literally, 2 days later, I see him, like, totally designing. Yeah, the next day, he totally designs the logo. He's like, yeah, I don't like the white lines. And I'm like...
Husbands, do y'all out there feel what I do? You know, because I don't want to be the only one alone on this.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I need to know that there are other brothers out there that feel the same way. But yeah, guys, that was me being silly. Guys, one of the most important things that I learned is really about the whole thinking thing. Now, I'm practicing my renewed mind aspect of really like renewing myself in what the Lord says about me and who I am and whatnot. It's just really like the root of it is just identity, like just really knowing who I am and walking it out. But I find that there are times where my brain's default thinking patterns are negative. And so there are many times where like Gabby would do something and then I would just think negatively. And she's not even trying to tear me down, like especially the idea stuff that I mentioned earlier in the video. It's like she's not trying to tear me down. She's just genuinely supporting me. She genuinely loves me and she's just being real. She's just saying, hey, that logo sucks. You can obviously, she doesn't put it like that.
I didn't say that,
no, I know. I'm just paraphrasing. But it really did look like a map, which is really funny now that I think about it. It really did look like a map.
Yeah, the next day, the Lord finally like, yo.
But just really learning that like whenever just having good thoughts of my spouse at all times, just always thinking like, hey, she means well. Like even if anytime I'm ready to receive feedback or whatnot, like, hey, she means well, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And is it cool if I share one other important thing that I learned?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's gonna, I'm
Robin.
Oh,
can I actually add on to what you just said?
Oh, go, yeah.
One thing I did want to add on, I like what you said, but I think it applies vice versa. But in a marriage, it's so important that you invite the Lord to shed his light, right? His truth. Because when you're with someone so long, I mean, we were only together for a year married, but I can imagine, you know, 10 years, 20 years. Like, there could be things that maybe you're annoyed with, right? Things build up, right? Like, married is definitely different than dating. Like, it's different. And it's okay. It's a beautiful thing. You actually get to learn what real love is, what true love is, and you get to grow in love. But one thing that's so important, I think, that you always have to make sure and ask yourselves, and I know you learned this recently from a close friend of yours, but always asking yourself, like, is this coming from God or not, right? Is this truth or is this a lie, right? Is this actually light bearing or is this bringing me to negativity and darkness? Because God would never put a thought that's evil, right? Like, he would never do that. And so, like, if you're thinking negatively or you have bad thoughts, like, just know that, like, that's not God. You know, like, God is so for marriage. He's for your union. And sometimes when we are so deceived and blind, we can use circumstances to add on to a lie that we're already believing. The enemy will plant a thought, a lie, right? And then we will use a circumstance to do that. Because that's happened to me before too in our marriage. With like me and with anxiety, for example. Like, I'm putting on the glasses of anxiety. So now when I see situations, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's why. And it's like, no, that's not good. Those moments, like, just inviting God to take away those lies, those blinders, like, shed his light to the truth so that you can clearly see, like, it was a lie.
I want to get into the topic of peacemaking.
Oh, that's a good one.
The primary thing that I've learned
It's really good.
is blessed are the peacemakers. There will inevitably be arguments. Now, granted, when we were single, we only argued, I think, once.
Yeah.
Literally just once, and that was at a restaurant. And thank God that it was diffused real quick, because like me in restaurants argument, like I just don't play that.
But that was a very valid.
But it was a very valid reason. I slipped up. I could have chosen better words or chosen to abstain from certain words. But what ended up happening is just that in marriage there was so much stuff that the Lord wanted to purify us in, and like the way he purifies, you know, it's like being refined in fire. Like, that hammer is striking. It is hard process and it's nasty. And so I got to see a lot of my selfish ways, and all this junk just come out. But in the process of that, arguments were rampant, and as a result of that, I really learned, like, okay, do I choose to actually talk it out until we come into resolve and believe with God that he will make something beautiful out of this? Or do I choose to sleep on it? We can talk about it later. Completely ignore it. You have those options. The reason why I say we have those options, you really don't. As a Christian, we really don't have those options. The only option should be God's option, which is like peacemaking. But oftentimes the world will tell you, like, you know, oh, I'm so fed up, I'm so bitter, and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna talk to that person. I'm gonna silent treatment for a week or whatever. I'm gonna abstain from sex as well. And the Bible covers that area too. And so all this stuff, but it's like, guys, you can simplify your, like, the marriage overall. At any time there's an argument, guys, like, be the first person to just ask for forgiveness, to say sorry. I learned that many times throughout this year. Like, I made some mistakes, like, a lot.
I did too.
But in that process, whether it was my mistake or whether it wasn't my mistake, I'm sorry. Let's work on resolving this. How can we, like, let's invite the Lord in to bring a solution. You know, what is the solution for this case, so that then we can avoid this in the future and not have to go through this again. Like, we experienced so much of that this year, and I think, like, that's just so vital, because, like, the enemy wants to tear their marriage up. Like, that's just his main thing. Like, that's what he wants to do. But praise God that, you know, for our premarital counseling, thank you, Pastor Lester, and also just like his word, his truth, blessed are the peacemakers. So guys, be a peacemaker. There's been, even if it means that you're gonna go to sleep super duper late, there's been many times that we did that, and we would sleep at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
No, we've never had 4 a.m.
Okay, you're right. It was 3 a.m.
Exaggerating.
3 a.m. But my gosh, it can be very exhausting. And the worst thing that you want is to, like, suddenly have, like, sleepy eyes when, like, your spouse is, like, talking to you
But I do
madly.
want to clarify too, like making sure that when you guys do talk, you're not heated, right? Like, because we've never
Yeah.
done, like, we typically don't. I'm not really like that heated type of person. I usually would just like cry, you know. So, but if you are heated, you
Or
definitely
just be quiet.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
super
usually quiet.
and then you're like, she's
This is
so
what
cute,
this is what I
guys. She's
do.
so cute.
Stop.
But you are cute when you get mad, because you like, she looks at me like this, guys. She's like this. And then like she looks away for a little bit, and then I'm still looking at her eyes, and then suddenly she just always looks back. So like I'm just like, man, girl, you are so cute. Let's just resolve this.
That's not that's not always how he acts.
Lips.
Yeah.
that's me in my mind right now, you know.
Yeah,
but
'cause I've
that's
never
not
heard
always
that.
how I act though. What? I've called you cute sometimes too. I'm like, babe, you look so cute, and then you then it turns out that you actually are mad, and I'm like, oh crap.
No, but in all seriousness, guys, like if you are really heated up, definitely take the time to cool down, because you don't want to like force talking to someone that's heated. But once, and you know, we had agreed actually, if we ever are super heated, that we would just spend time with the Lord and then talk about it. Although it's never
works.
I think it happened once, but after that, like we never had something so heated where we had to do that. But we did talk about that. But I do like what you said, because Michael has definitely been, as a leader and as a husband, he has been definitely always taking lead and being a peacemaker, you know, and that has made our marriage so much easier. And it's allowed us to, obviously with the Lord, right, with the God's perspective and his truth. But if it wasn't for the Lord, if it wasn't for Michael's heart of being a peacemaker, our arguments wouldn't turn out to be good. Like there would be no lesson learned. Yeah. But if we actually just communicate with one another, we get to grow in love and grow in how to be better for one another. Mm-hmm. So you've done such a great job in that.
Aww, guys.
He gets the award of the best hubby.
Guys, after this video, I'm gonna give this girl some cuddles.
Oh my gosh.
But let's see, I think.
No, I gotta share mine.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
So, one takeaway that I've learned from, well, there's a bunch, but I think one that I've learned, and I kind of knew I had this inside of me, but I didn't know to the fullness of it. But I realized through getting married that I have a hard trouble of letting go of things. You know, like I obviously I forgive him, but then like it's still there, you know, and it's hard for me just to like truly forgive him. And this year God's really been teaching me of what love is. And 1 Corinthians 13 already says like love keeps no records of wrongs. Love always perseveres. Love always trusts. Love always hope. And you know, granted, like yeah, there has been things that Michael has done that he's messed up in. And sometimes, you know, when your spouse messes up, you tend to think like, oh, I have to keep my guard, you know, like they may screw up again, right? Like we're thinking the worst of that person. But I remember just spending time with the Lord, and God was showing me his own love to us, and that how he loves us so much that he when he sees us, he sees the best in us, right? He chooses to trust us with his assignments, even though we are prone to fail. Like we could fail. We're still in the flesh, you know, like God's not like, oh, like I'm still keeping you accountable. You may slip up again because you did that last month. You know, like he literally is like, hey, the moment you confess, you're washed clean, right? 1 John says that confess your sins, and Jesus is faithful and just to purify your sins and to cleanse you and to wash you into righteousness. Like when the Lord says that, he means it. Like you're new, you're a new slate. Like he doesn't look at your past anymore. He doesn't use it against you. He's not like, oh, I don't know if I can trust Gabby or Michael with this, you know. And I didn't realize that I was doing that with Michael. Like I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, I forgive you. But then I was just like keeping an eye on him, like making sure, you know, like I was thinking bad. I wasn't like willing to trust. But when 1 Corinthians says love always trusts, love always hopes for the best, like that's what it means. So I've really been learning to love in a way that is love, which is Christ's love, right? It's not the way that, you know,
it's been amazing, guys.
It's not the way that like movies portray it, you know. And it's been a journey. I'm not saying I'm always like super spot on and nice about things, but I always come to Michael often and be like, hey, like I'm sorry for doing that, or like I'm sorry for giving into anxiety, because sometimes to me it leads me to anxiety from things. But yeah, it's been beautiful, and I'm glad because I feel, and we've said this before in our past videos, but the best way to experience God's love is through marriage, right? Like that's why Christ always compares himself to the bride. Like we're the bride, his church. So marriage is a beautiful thing, guys. And, you know, regardless of how long you've been married, you know, be that peacemaker, right? And live with the renewed mindset and love, right? Love, be willing to love.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 13, like just meditate on that, because like when the Lord spoke that to me, I was just like blown away, because it's like, man, love is patient. like love is patient. There's been many times where I was impatient with Gabby. There's many times. But then once I see that patient, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to be patient. Like I always emphasize the verse where it's like Jesus, like husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Well, what did Christ do? Jesus Christ died for the church. And I would always say like, oh man, I'm gonna love my wife like Christ loved the church. I'm gonna love my wife like Christ loved the church. Yet, completely, oblivious of 1 Corinthians 13, that love is what? Patient. Kind of like there's actually a definition there. And that means that because it's defined, I have the steps necessary to actually live it out and walk it out so that I can actually love Gabby the way that she's meant to be loved from according to that perspective. And so, guys, like meditate on that. Like, it's the first and greatest commandment of all. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength. And so what is love? 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, kind, keeps no records of wrong. Love does not seek its own. It's gentle. So much more. Does not envy. A lot more. You can obviously know that I don't remember it completely in my head, but it's been good. So I think those were our major stuff that we learned from 1 year of marriage.
And we want to hear from you guys, from those of you guys who are married. What are some things, like big takeaways that you want to share to other married couples or those who are soon to be married? Maybe you're dating or you're engaged.
And we want to know some really funny things too that you guys learn, like
answer our past questions.
Gabby doesn't like it when I fart. And she knows, guys. She knows when I'm about to like unleash it. Always, like she just seems to know. And I'm just like, how do you know? And
I know his thoughts.
Like, remember, husbands, wives, 98% right. All the time.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this. Definitely share this for other couples to hear, soon-to-be couples, married couples. Subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Yes, I think Gabby has a goal for this year.
We are planning to get 1,000 likes.
1,000 likes?
Sorry, 1,000 followers.
1,000
likes. We already have 1,000 likes.
1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers.
So let's go for that. And be tuned in to michaelandgabby.com, guys. We're gonna have some vlogs that are gonna be coming out. This year is the year where we're really gonna like revamp that and really just unleash far more than just the vlogs that you get to see from yours truly, Gabby, who does all the editing and awesome does recording and stuff. So guys, God bless you, and I hope this video edifies you and ministers to you as well. So Michael and Gabby out.